Hi everyone, welcome to week 2 of ED310. It has been so nice to get to see some people that I've had in one or two classes. I think I have one person this is their third class with me, so I really love seeing people again and again in my courses, and I feel like it's just been my pleasure getting to know you a little bit better. And I am thrilled to have some new faces too. And it was really interesting to me that we have so many seniors in this class. All of you that are in your last year, it must be nice to feel like you're in the home stretch. So I hope this is a really great course to be part of that home stretch. One thing I did want to mention to you before I go on to week 2 competencies and assignments is just a request for best practice. With regard to discussions, I realize that the assignment, the initial post to the prompt, is due by the end of the day on Thursday. What I'm going to ask you to do is, when at all possible, please try not to wait for the end of the day on Thursday as a rule, like doing it every week. I understand that a lot of times that's when you have time. But when everyone posts, or the majority of people post late on Thursday, and then the majority of posts replies end up being late on Saturday, it really doesn't lend to that robust discussion that I like to see in these courses. And because they're asynchronous online courses, a lot of our learning is really dependent on that interchange with one another. So that's my heartfelt request to all of you, is to do your best to try to post early and not save everything for the end of the day on Saturday. So I would really appreciate that. And also, just a reminder, please submit your assignments as Word documents. That way I can download them and I can give you detailed comments and track changes. I found that works much better. That when I try to comment directly in Canvas, like when it's a PDF, sometimes students have said that my feedback is really hard to read in the Canvas application itself. So again, if you could upload a Word document, that is the easiest way for me to get you feedback that you can read easily and access easily. So I think that's it for feedback. I'm still in the middle of grading your papers. Thus far, they look wonderful, and it's exciting reading them and looking at your presentations. You've done a great job from everybody's presentations and assignments that I can see. And just remember, please use APA format. If you are struggling with APA format or you're not sure what it is, you can either contact the Writing Center, or if you Google Purdue OWLS, OWLS, APA, you can come to a website that really has some great guidance for how to use APA. If you have questions beyond that, feel free to send me an email and I will support you as best I can with regard to APA format. So week 2. This week we are going to look at developmentally appropriate practice as it relates to environments. And we're going to really talk about how environments can impact what we think about behavior and positive child guidance. So this week for our discussion, you're going to really talk about classrooms and outdoor play spaces and give us some examples about what you should see and experience in a developmentally appropriate learning space. So please make sure you give 2 examples of indoor and 2 examples of outdoor spaces. And then explain why they're effective and what would happen if a space is not designed to be developmentally appropriate. What could the not so great outcomes or unintended consequences be of having poorly designed environments indoors and outdoors? And then think of a couple of questions that you can pose for your peers to respond to. Let me get to the rest of my notes here. So your assignment for this week is, we're going to talk about transitions. And anybody who is currently working in a classroom knows that transitions make up a large part of a day in schools and in childcare. And they can also be one of the most challenging parts of a day. So we're going to talk about how good transitions can really get rid of negative behaviors and disruptive behaviors, and also how you can use that transition time, not just as transition, getting from one thing to another, but how you can use it as active learning time and active learning experiences. So what I'd like you to do this week is you can either write a paper or you can do a presentation with a voiceover. And then I want you to review, there's a link for it for the best practices for assignments, so make sure you review that for all of your APA resources. And then we really want you to think about developmentally appropriate transition activities for young children. So what could you design for young children to get them from either one activity to another, one space to another, that could be developmentally appropriate and be a learning activity? And again, explain why using that learning activity is going to have better outcomes for children, both with learning and social interactions. So I want you to pick 2 developmentally appropriate transition activities. They can be outdoors, they can be indoors, they can be going between outdoors and indoors. So you can choose that. So I look forward to our discussion this week. I look forward to reading all of your assignments. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about the content, or if you have any questions about any assignments or any comments that I have made on any of the assignments. Also, don't forget that we're reading Chapter 7. I didn't go over that, sorry. Chapter 7 of our text, and you do have a video to watch about planning transitions for challenging behavior. And then any other resources that you may use to develop your transition activities for your assignment this week. So have a wonderful week. I'm looking forward to learning with you again this week. Stay cool, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.